Am I the a-hole for telling my husband he is too dysregulated to talk during a fight? I, 35-year-old female, have been in therapy for a few years and it's honestly helped me a lot. I used to get really reactive and now I try to stay calm and communicate better. My husband, 37-year-old male, says it's made me insufferable. Last week, we were arguing about finances and he started raising his voice. I said, I'm not going to engage when things are escalated. We can talk when we're both regulated. He got really upset and said I talk like a robot and that I treat him like a client. He also said I use therapy language to avoid real conversations. I don't think that's fair. I'm literally trying not to yell. Now he keeps saying I've changed too much and he misses the old me. So am I the a-hole? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't say she's the a-hole.
Okay.
But I do think it's important for us to recognize when we have done our own work.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone else has done their own work.
Good point.
And I think that's what's going on here, right? Like just because you have been in therapy for a long period of time, you have learned the importance of communication and regulating your emotions, and you're at a different place and space when it comes to how you communicate. Doesn't mean that he's there yet.
Yeah.
And so how do I, in my communication skills, meet him where he's at?
Yeah.
I think that's making it more effective versus assuming that just because I've done the work, you're supposed to come along with me and, you know, we speak at the same level, we speak about the same things with the same level of regulation. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
And that can be frustrating for everybody, for him and for you. So I think it's, are you the a-hole? I wouldn't say per se.
However,
flavors, just in terms of like going at this in a fair way.
Yeah.
You know, that's my thought.
I tend to agree with you. What came forward for me is we teach people how to regulate themselves and how to communicate for themselves, but not how to actually instruct other people how to act. So there was this sort of element. I think if she had actually said, I'm going to step away from this conversation because I'm feeling dysregulated. I don't see this conversation going in the right direction. Can we take some time apart, calm down a little bit and come back to this? I think that probably would have been received better than you are too dysregulated for this conversation. You need to calm down.
Yeah.
You're the problem in this. I think that probably was the biggest, if I'm on the receiving end of that, what would be the part that bothers me the most? I think that's number one. I think there is a number of people that sometimes come to therapy thinking that's what they're going to be able to accomplish is how can I come to therapy and change other people? And they can take what we're saying to them and then instruct other people that that's how they need to change or what they need to do. And I don't think that's ever going to go well.
And that's not the goal either, right?
No,
I think they don't realize that though. Like, oh, I'm here for somebody else, or I'm here to, you know, be the instructor, but that's not the goal. I think it's really real. And that, I think, with the finger pointing and the you statements, that also speaks to more work that possibly has to be done in therapy in terms of how do I even communicate the needs versus the I statements that you were talking about. So I think recognizing I'm not here to instruct them. We're always going to interact with people who don't have the skills to regulate their emotions. And sometimes that's what makes the conflict what it is that I might have done the work and I know how to regulate my emotions. But it might be the other person who hasn't done the work yet. If you're willing to accept that is going to be a very important part when you do have people in your circle that you interact with on a regular basis, right? Just because you've done it doesn't mean that they have as well too.
Which can make it harder. I actually post that said, like, I'm basically undateable now because I've done so much of my own work.
Boy.
I can't handle
Oh my gosh.
anybody else. And I was like, kind of fun. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. But that's true. And that's the thing, like, I think DBT talks a lot about it, right? Sometimes what are the barriers that get in the way of emotion regulation? Sometimes it's not you, but it's the other person who hasn't done their own work and they don't know how to regulate their emotions. And so it makes it difficult because you're trying, but you're like going through mud at this point. It gets frustrating. So I think it's coming to realize that just because I've done it doesn't mean that they've done their work either.
Yeah.
But how do I meet them where they're at?
Yeah.
So that we can still have an effective conversation.
What came to mind for me is defensiveness. One of the quickest I guess, derailers of a conversation is if either party gets defensive.
Yeah.
And part of the art of having a difficult conversation is learning how not to hit people's defense mechanisms. Because the second you hit it, that conversation's going nowhere good. And so that is why we talk about I statements versus you statements, because a quick way to hit a defense mechanism is you always, you never, you need to, all that kind of stuff. I think it definitely a good message of like, it's true. We're not going to we need to have this conversation in the window of affect tolerance. We need to be calm. We need to be regulated to have a good conversation. But also, how do we do that effectively? And it's not hitting defense mechanisms.
No. And I always look at like the boxing as an analogy.
Yeah.
Like if I'm boxing and I'm punching you, you're going to defend yourself, but then you're going to punch me back. You're not just going to defend yourself. You're going to attack back.
Yeah.
And we do that. Whenever we feel like we're being attacked, we punch back.
I like that analogy. I'm going to use that one before.
We punch back with our words. We punch back at him and where it hurts. And we just, the idea of like hurt people hurting people.
Escalate out of control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. And so it makes sense if he's responding that way, he probably feels attacked.
Yeah.
And so he's defending himself, but also now attacking you. And again, like you said, it doesn't go anywhere good.
No.
It only escalates.
No. So not the a-hole, but some work to do.
Yeah, I would say that.
Maybe some couples therapy.
Some communication skills building. Something's got to be done for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you read our next one?